Okay, so we just want to talk about plantar fasciitis, and we want to look at managing those types of symptoms and also preventing those types of symptoms whenever we can. So with plantar fasciitis, the plantar fascia runs from the calcaneus right down through to the heads of your metatarsals, and so it's almost like a bridge of connective tissue. And what happens is that sometimes if people have even a high arch, the forces that run through that are higher. If people have an arch that drops in, you almost get like a Chinese burn type of situation where it becomes inflamed in there, so they become very tender. Research sort of talks about 10% of the population having this type of plantar fasciitis pain at some point in life, but I think it's probably a lot higher than that, in that most of the population will at some point have some sort of discomfort through their foot or their heel. It might sort of start in the morning and then ease off, and sometimes they won't even address it. So if you are starting to get some sort of discomfort in your foot, you want to know how to start tackling it straight away. So the first thing you can do is that we can actually roll it out. Do you want to stand up, Alison? And we've got a little foot ease, which is a really good little tool, particularly for an athlete, but also for people who are just trying to be fit and strong for life. And what we're going to do is use these to roll out this connective tissue of this plantar fascia. So she biases her weight through the inside of this foot, so weight through there, and then she's going to start to roll this out. So you'll sort of feel firm, and then you can feel a little trigger point in there. So a little trigger point, she can slow up on that, start to release it off, and roll that through. And she might do that 3-4 times, even just on that one side. Then she can bias it on the outside. So firm pressure again, just finding that point, slow up on that point. Can you feel that as well? Yeah. And then take that through. So you can really start to roll that out. It's a really useful strategy. Then I'll show you a little stretch. So I'm going to just get down. So I'm going to get Alison in this position, and what she's going to try and do is really tuck her feet under. So she's really trying to tuck her toes under. Got them? You right? And then for the stretch, what she's going to do is just come back on heels. So she'll stretch out specifically that plantar fascia underneath. So sit on that for about 5 seconds and then ease off. Sometimes this will put a fair bit of pressure on your ankles. So again, start gentle and start comfortable, and then you might sit back on it, go to 10 seconds and work your way up to sort of 20 and 30 seconds, but make sure it's comfy at all times as well. Okay, this will stretch the plantar fascia, but it will also stretch the calf as well. And again, research shows that if we can actually give calf length a bit of help, that will help with foot pain, and particularly plantar fascia stretches will actually be more effective than just calf stretches by themselves. Cool. So I'll get you just onto your stomach. So again, if you're getting these types of symptoms, talk to your doctor, talk to your healthcare professional. They'll sort of guide you through these types of things. But if you're getting a bit stuck, then other options, you can look at the Strasbourg socks. And basically, a Strasbourg sock is like a little sock that sort of clips up the top here. And what it does is it has a piece of material that runs from the toes right through to the shins. So it actually keeps the foot in that dorsiflexion, that little stretch type of position over your night. And oftentimes that's really effective. I know with a lot of our people, if we're finding that they're plateauing, we'll order them a little Strasbourg sock. They're pretty cost effective, and sometimes that'll be a really good way of just getting rid of the pain as well. Other options, some people do the cortisones, and up until very recently we've just tried to avoid heel cortisone injections literally like the plague, because oftentimes they can be very tender afterwards. These days, with options of being able to use the ultrasound guidance, they can be more effective. Some people talk about surgical options for releasing the plantar fascia, and research talks about sort of 75% success rate. I would do everything possible to try and avoid surgery if I could, and then if it's really affecting your quality of life, then talk with the specialist at that point. So probably the gist is start to be proactive, start to think of if you're getting a little bit of tension in your foot, if you're starting to get a bit of discomfort, tackle it at that point. Don't let it slowly progress to screaming agony. Make sure you're nipping it in the bud, and stay on the field, stay fit, and keep healthy for life.